Hey everyone, I'm Wheeze. Check out part 1 of this series if you haven't already. I'm going over every arc of Hunter x Hunter and breaking it down. So let's get into the video. Spoilers for this arc of Hunter x Hunter. If my voice sounds a little off at times, it's because of seasonal allergies, so rip my voice. So we left the last arc with Killua going nuts, murdering Botaro, failing the Hunter exam, and going home to Kukuru Mountain. Apparently this Zoldyck family arc is unofficial, but it's so separated from the Hunter exam and Heaven's Arena that it deserves its own arc despite being very short with only 5 episodes, one being a recap, that cover 5 chapters of the manga. With it being so short, I don't have as much to talk about as other arcs, but there's still a lot to unpack, so let's get into doing the recap. Yeah. Gon, Kurapika, and Leorio go to the base of the mountain on a tour bus to save Killua from his family. After going through the testing gate and dealing with butlers, they make it to the butlers' quarters, where Killua is, and leave Kukuru together. Previously, Killua had been in confinement as he was tortured by his brother, but after talking to his father, he was allowed to leave. Once together, Kurapika tells them that Hisoka and the Phantom Troop would be in York New City. They agree to meet together again on September 1st in York New City, and then part ways with Kurapika looking for a job. Leorio leaves to work on becoming a doctor, while Gon and Killua plan to go to Heaven's Arena to grow stronger and earn some money. We got a few new characters in this arc, most notably the members of Killua's family and Goto. Canary was fine. It's cool seeing someone on Killua's side, but I never liked her that much. She was just decent. So we've got Silva Zoldyck, the father. We got Zeno Zoldyck, the grandpa, the chairman Netero equivalent for the Zoldyck family. We got Illumi, who we knew about already as the manipulative brother of Killua, who wasn't in this arc except for flashbacks. Then we got Miluki Zoldyck, who is just the most unlikable, angry, overweight computer nerd type, who tortures Killua and never does anything cool, and is super self-centered. But for some reason I kinda like him. Aloka, who doesn't matter right now, and Kaluto, who I completely forgot existed. Also, Kikyo, who is the mother, and despite being super annoying and controlling, I can't hate her either because her morals are so twisted that she praises Killua for giving her death glares and threatening the family. Okay, I don't care about most of the side characters here, but Goto is freaking awesome. He's got the cold exterior, but it's obvious he cares, and he's got a really cool philosophy about life and how he treats everyone. I did not like him at first, but he has a lot of depth and yeah. You get to see more of him later. Getting into details, some of this arc felt awkward, as they were kinda just hanging out while Killua was getting tortured. It makes sense Killua would be happy to see them and realize they cared a lot about him after they pursued him for like a month, but some of the story felt weird. For example, the testing gate. After Gon just stubbornly tries to get through despite facing certain death on the other side, the butler in charge of cleaning up the monster guard dog, Mike, just lets them through. But then they train so that they can go back and then go through again. It just feels a little weird after they already got past it, but it does work for the characters, especially Gon, who wants to train to achieve things the right way instead of just using people or finding workarounds. He wants to do it himself. I just think them passing through the gate would have been a more powerful moment if they didn't already know what was beyond it. This leads to my other complaint, which is Gon's stubborn refusal to cooperate at all with the butler's request. I understand that persistence is a good virtue, but Gon just acts like an annoying idiot as he runs into impossible situations and expects them to work themselves out. Then the situation works itself out, which is the most annoying part. I just wished he had used a little more logic with how he approached the problems. Mike is freaking terrifying though. His design was worth the hype built up for him, with the 2 tourists who were killed by him and how Zebro warns about how dangerous he is. It's one of the coolest designs in all of Hunter x Hunter and has an amazing manga panel. The rest of this arc is a little strange and anticlimactic, as multiple people stop or try to stop Killua's friends, but in the end they just keep going up the mountain. It's obvious any of these assassins, and probably most of the butlers, could take down the group, but despite being assassins, the Zoldyck family won't kill friends of Killua in cold blood. They are a complex unit of people, and that is shown more obviously through Killua's side of the story. Killua is in solitary confinement, but by his own choice. At least, that's what Kaluto says. Miluki is beating him with a whip as he is chained up. They find out Killua's friends are coming to see him, and Miluki threatens them. That leads to Killua's epic moment that he has at least once in each arc. He rips off the chain and threatens to kill Miluki if they do anything to his friends. Then Zeno, the cool grandfather of the Zoldyck family, comes to tell Killua to go see his father, so Killua breaks all the chains. Part of the reason Miluki was so angry at Killua is that when he escaped to take the hunter exam, he stabbed him. So Killua says he isn't sorry for stabbing him, but he does feel bad. Interestingly, when Killua leaves, Zeno asks Miluki about him, and Miluki admits Killua is one of the most gifted in all of the family's history. This is probably the reason they aren't as controlling as they could be with him, as they don't want him to leave for good, or maybe they just don't want to get killed by him. Then Killua talks to his father, who turns out to be really cool. He is understanding of his son and gives him freedom, but making him promise not to betray his friends. Kikyo comes in and tells Killua his friends already left, and Killua glares at her and walks around to go see them, which makes Kikyo proud of her son. However, she still questions Sylvia why he let Killua go now that he was in their care again, and he replies that he believes he will come back because Killua is his son. The family dynamic reminds me of the Spartan training in ancient Greece, where they would encourage the young boys being trained as soldiers to steal food from nearby farms and houses. However, they would still punish them for getting caught. It is an interesting philosophy of being resourceful and doing everything you do excellently, even if what you are doing isn't a value traditionally taught by parents. Being assassins, this makes sense as their moral code. The last great moment is the competition between Gon and Goto. Kurapika and Leorio are involved with it too, but they get eliminated from the competition, which consists of Goto tossing the coin in the air and moving so quickly that they have to guess which hand he catches it with. He threatens to kill Canary and never let them see Killua again if they lose. After cutting into his eye to relieve the swelling, Gon is able to guess correctly every time, even when he tosses the coin to the butler behind him. All the butlers clap when he guesses correctly and apologize for the threats, as it was only meant to make the game more interesting. Killua comes in and they reunite with their friend in a relatively anticlimactic way. As they leave, Gon talks to Goto, who claims that he has no attachment to his masters, but Gon calls him a liar. Goto then does one more coin toss and Gon gets it wrong because Goto cheats. He warns Gon that people will try to deceive him and leaves Killua in his care. This scene is great because it really shows how Goto cares about Killua. He tests his friends and gives them advice. His loyalty and love of Killua, and probably the entire Zoldyck family, is apparent despite not being able to express it. Now we get to the end of this very short arc. The group splits up, which surprised me. I really like the chemistry between the four, but Kurapika and Leorio have very specific goals. They plan to meet up in York New City, so the party is promised to be together again. Killua and Gon plan to go to Heaven's Arena to get better at fighting and earn some money. The last thing is when Killua remarks about Gon not using his hunter license, because the hunter license has benefits like free travel on trains and stuff like that. Gon says he won't use it until he pays back those he feels he owes for passing, including giving back Hisoka his badge. This amplifies the moment from the first arc where Gon is at his lowest after losing to Hisoka. Now that he has resolved not to use his license, there is a better reward and payoff for when he is able to deliver a solid punch to Hisoka. All the debts will be paid and he will be free. Finally, I just wanted to talk about something Hunter x Hunter introduces here and expounds on in further arcs, and that is politics. Not just with the government, but family and corporation politics also. You get to see a lot of it with the Zoldyck family. Gon and the rest of them are friends of Killua, so they can't just kill them. Miluki seems to hate his brother, although Killua doesn't seem too fond of the boy he stabbed either. However, Silva seems to truly love his son and care about his free will, where Kyoko also seems to care about her son. However, she would rather control him like Illumi. The entire family dynamic is complicated and interesting. As the extremely rich and successful family of assassins they were hyped to be, they do not disappoint in their complex goals, and despite allowing horrible things like torture, it seems they allow it to make their children resourceful, independent, strong, and successful. Alright, favorites time. For this arc, I think Goto was actually my favorite. The entire final moment with him was just really cool. Killua's dad I liked a lot, but Killua shined a lot too. Ultimately, our heroes were a little lame as they didn't really do anything except encourage Killua that his friends came for him. I did appreciate Leorio being the physically strongest of the group for the testing gate. I find myself rooting for him because I just felt like he was going to be left behind. So the final ranks for this arc, Goto at number 1, then Killua, Leorio, then like Silva and the others. Overall, the arcs, my rankings haven't changed much, except I would put Killua firmly over Gon. We have Leorio at number 1, followed by Kurapika, Hisoka, Killua, Gon. None of the new characters hit me enough to make it in the top 5. My favorite moment was the entire coin game, although meeting Mikey and watching Killua leave solitary confinement was also up there. My favorite arc is still Hunter Exam, followed by Zoldyck family. Not super interesting right now, but as we get further into the series, we will have a lot more arcs to compare. That's it for me. I'm trying my best to get these out once a week, but it is pretty difficult. So thank you for your support. Share this around and like and subscribe. If you made it this far, you must have liked the video. Leave some comments and I will reply. Thanks for watching. Part 3 coming out next week, hopefully. Ciao meow.